We encourage compassionate actions in youth through presentations in schools for all grade levels. I travel all over the United States and beyond, encouraging and recognizing kindness towards all species of animals. The Animal Hero Kids book is full of incredible stories. Our goal is to gift one to each school library. This is one of the heartwarming stories in the Animal Hero Kids book. Liberty City kids playing in their neighborhood. They saw a man beat and chase a puppy and stuff the puppy down the sewer grate. And they rescued the puppy. I surprised them at school with a reunion of the puppy and gave them awards. And every single media came out. And it's a matter of inspiring compassion for all species. You might start with the dog and the cute kids, then you go to the cow and the cuter kids. So I find that when I go into schools and tell the stories from the book, every animal that is saved, no matter what species, the children cheer and clap after each story. I do school assemblies, we're all volunteer, we have a mini budget, so I want to reach as many children and teens as possible. And I surprise kids with awards. You know, you've heard the elephant in the room? This is the cow in the room. There's never a charge, and we're looking for Animal Hero Kids storytellers in your neighborhood to go into schools. So who here has ever watched the movie The Matrix? So I'll just tell you quickly, the character in the movie is offered a red pill or a blue pill. The blue pill, you go to sleep, you wake up and everything's the same as it's always been. The red pill, you realize the truth. And at first glance, these circles look the same, but they are not the same. So put your hand up if you think that the blue circle is larger. And put your hand up if you think the red circle is larger. Okay, a lot. More, I think more think the red circle is larger. And on first instinct, who thought they were the same size? Okay, and the fact is they are the same size. Just my suggestion to you made you doubt what you knew was the fact, what you saw with your own eyes. And this manipulation is what people have grown up with. When you're a child, you are taught that it is okay to eat animals. Everybody around you is doing it. You might not think that it is okay initially, but if everybody says the blue circle is larger than the red, and culturally, you're going to agree to it. And then that culture becomes a tradition. And we have had traditions historically that are not moral or ethical. Can anybody say what those traditions were? They're not moral or ethical?
Slavery.
Slavery, yes. And any other traditions?
Oppression of women.
Say that again?
Oppression of women.
Oppression of women. So it was 50 years ago, women were not allowed to vote in this country. But everybody knew that was the tradition and it was accepted. If you have taken the blue pill, which is believing what is all around you, then you think this is an actual reality. Do you think that is a reality? Is this a blue pill or a red pill? The fact is that 90 to 95% of our meat, milk, dairy that we were taught to eat when we were younger comes from factory farms. And factory farms where the beings are treated like this. And it is, I investigated it in the 1980s, eggs, and they're all like that, no matter what they say. And we have been taught to believe things like this. And this is our tradition. You need to eat meat to get your protein. Macho family, father, they all still think that. And if you were an infant in a crib and somebody put a strawberry in that crib and a piglet in that crib, which one would you eat? And if I brought this puppy in the room right now and a strawberry, which one would you want to eat? You can answer, it's okay. Stars. And so, if I was to bring a puppy, like that gorgeous puppy, and actually say, okay, who has the knife to kill the puppy because we're going to have dinner, who would want to do that in this room? If I was to do something like that, would you stop me? Suppose it was a pig. Would you stop me?
Yes.
Okay, suppose it was away in another room and you wouldn't even see me. Would you consider that maybe that night having dinner could have been that pig? We have been taught, we have all been taught, that it's acceptable to pet this animal and eat parts of this animal. We have all of these animals, and if we were in a different country, we would be eating the cat and the dog. When I was 9 years old, because I love animals so much, my Aunt Alwyn brought me to a chicken hatchery where I saw all the male chicks being gassed and suffocated. And I looked around at the adults in the room to stop it. And they just sorted the chicks and continued to put them in the bins. I was looking at it how anyone would look at it with horror, but it was business as usual. And one of the reasons I love to talk to children and university students is the mind is still open. And not to say adults' minds are closed, because I am 59. The fact is that you are still able to say to yourself, is this true? And what happens a lot with children is once they find out what's really happening to animals, they don't want any part of it. Because we're coming up to Halloween, we're going to show you some scary slides. Beef eaters use 160 times more land resources than plant-based. 75% of, this is scary, 70% of grain grown in the U.S. is fed to animals in feedlots. This is really scary. Agriculture uses 70% of available fresh water. If you are an environmentalist and you eat meat, guess what? You're not. Now, believe the world can change. Now I have a video to show you, and the world is changing, but I have a short video to show you. Thank you to Ingrid Newkirk for making this available to me so quickly.
We are all the same in all the ways that matter. It doesn't matter what we look like, how old we are, what language we speak, or who we love. It doesn't matter if we have fur or feathers or fins, the length of our nose, or the number of legs. We're not different in any important way. We all have thoughts and feelings. We all feel love and pain and loneliness and joy. We can all understand, but we are not always understanding. We experience ourselves as separate from the rest, but none of us deserves to be treated with less respect. Our task must be to break free from prejudice and to see ourselves in everyone else.
What percentage did veganism grow in the world last year? 400?
600.
This person is the closest. Give her a hand. 360%. And now what magazine, financial magazine, said that if you want to be keyed into the future, you better turn your business vegan? What financial magazine?
Forbes.
Forbes. Who said that first?
You didn't say we were excluded. Yes.
Okay. What is the goal with the Animal Hero Kids book? Yes?
To get it in all elementary school.
Very good. Since 1980, I've been helping animals When I became vegan, it was powdered soy milk and it was Eden soy in Tetra Paks. And soy cheese tasted like soap. Now, how many soy cheeses do we have? So there's actually no excuse today not to harm animals, whether those animals are being harmed away from us, away from our site, whether it's dairy. There is no excuse, and as a matter of fact, you're going to live longer, look better, and I don't know if I can say this because it is an adult audience, right?
Yeah.
And really have better sex. And it is a vascular function for many, So I want to thank you very much for listening. And go with the vegan revolution.